If you know me, you know that I'm almost fanatical about not paying modern prices for model trains. I'd rather spend money on something that was from years ago, that was broken and can be fixed up and runs adequately, than splashing out the huge amounts of money that's now required for highly detailed, brilliantly performing, but ultimately, as far as I'm concerned, extremely overpriced models. And not being a perfectionist and not being someone who demands the best, I am perfectly happy with getting old models off the internet and replacing them. In fact, over the years I've built up a very large collection of trains from this. Now, so this is the latest bunch to come off eBay, and I haven't tested them, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I might even just use the chassis. I might find a different body to replace one of these F units, but let's have a look at what I got here. Again, incredibly cheap. I know some people out there looking at this and going, what a load of junk and stuff like that, but what they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and that's the world I come from when it comes to this kind of thing. So let's look at the first model. Now this is a Lifelike. I'm not sure if this is a GP38 or a GP40 or a GP38-2, but it's a Lifelike model and it has everything intact. I think this has the motor type that has the power bogie, a pancake motor in the driving end. In fact, it is. I can see it inside the cab window. It's got everything that makes me buy something off the internet. Well, not necessarily always, but things that I look out for. It's got all the handrails intact. That's very important. That it has all the handrails intact. That's extremely important for because these can be tricky and expensive. Some people make them from wire, but you can do that. I guess I've done it myself. But if you can get all the handrails on it ready to go, then great. And this has, especially the Stachicons at the end, the safety handrails at the end and the front. Another one to look out for is if you can get horns. That's great as well. Often a lot of models have the horns on the roof missing, and this one looks okay. It's got the couplers missing, but that's okay. I'll put the couplers on that myself. It's probably, if I can get this to work and run okay, I'll probably repaint it. This Santa Fe, as far as I know, only painted mostly passenger units in this war bonnet. In this war bonnet red and silver famous scheme, and this would have been a freight loco, so it probably would have been painted, I'm 90% sure, in the blue and yellow. I'm a big fan of repainting and decaling, and I'll make some videos of that and doing that on the cheap. And so I'll probably repaint this maybe as I've got enough Penn Central locos, probably as a Conrail. I'm pretty sure if anyone out there can identify this logo, that'd be great, and that'd point me in the direction of a prototype I can paint it. I'm pretty sure I've seen a Conrail logo like this, but there's other lines too. But I go for simple paint schemes. I'm not competent enough to do really complex paint schemes, and so I'll use an all one color scheme like Penn Central black or Conrail blue. So let's see if we can get this one on the test track and see if it works. Now the Bachmann GP something that has its handrails intact, a very smart war bonnet paint scheme, totally unprototypical. Let's see if anything happens. Nothing. That direction. This way. The trucks weren't done properly, huh? It rolls like it's a dummy. I suspect I might have got a dummy here by mistake, because it rolls like it's freewheeling. So that's a disappointment. There's no motor inside it. But having said that, nothing goes to waste. Okay, and I didn't spend much money on these. So with this one, that's really a shame. I was really hoping this one would go. But, you know, I'll remotor it somehow and I will transform it. But on appearance, I'd give that like 8 out of 10. But because the motor's not there, again, 4 out of 10 in terms of being second hand. Shame, really. If that hadn't run, the motor was working, and I don't think there is even a motor, unless the gear fell out of one of the trucks, and I've got loads of spare nylon gears I can fix that, if that's the case. So, that's a bit of a disappointment. The next model is this very strange Santa Fe unit. I'm pretty sure this is a very old Tyco, I'd say. No, I don't think so. I think it's, I'm going to see inside here. I just got a light on it. No, I'd say this is an old model car. It's got a strange paint scheme. It's a warp on it, but they have grey instead of, I don't know, it looks like somebody repainted this. This is one of the the idiosyncrasies of buying second-hand models. People do strange things, sometimes very good things to them over the years, like well detailed. But this one they seem to, yeah, I can see the silver below the black line. Well, for some reason they painted it grey and left the Santa Fe logo still in silver, so it looks like it's been patched or stuck on. Okay, this one is missing the horns. This is always a big problem when you're buying second-hand F units and E units. You'll be missing the horns, and so this one. Well, there's lots you can do with this. You know, numerous roads had them. I'm going to test that one now and see if it works. But yeah, that's definitely one for a repaint and an upgrade, and I'll have fun doing that. I always quite enjoy working on F units. I can't get over that strange paint scheme on this one. So in reverse, nothing. Oh, I hear something. That's good. That's always promising. Yeah. It wants to live. It's alive. It's alive. And there you go. That's actually I know that this will be fully serviceable, and I can see there's a decent motor in there that will be fixed up, and we'll get it running, and we'll do something with this. The next one is, I've wanted to do these for a long time. This is an AH, this is a substantially weighty model as well. This is an AHM made by Mehano in the old Yugoslavia. I don't know if you can see that there. The old Yugoslavia, now Slovenia. The company still exists. And I've always liked this livery of the Central Railroad of New Jersey, or the Jersey Central, with the Statue of Liberty logo and Coast Guard type markings in red. This is an RS3. The smoke exhaust here should be 90 degrees to what it is on the prototype. I would never do something like that. I'm not that much of it, and I'm going to keep this one in the scheme because I wanted one of these. These were not only used in freight, apparently these were used in passenger trains as well because of the boiler installed in them. So that could be a good project for the future. I'm currently working on a sort of like a low budget Reading passenger set, so maybe Central New Jersey, similar idea. These are well made models. They've usually got a centrally mounted motor driving both axles. They usually only get pickup though off one, or sometimes they only have one truck picks up power and one truck drives. But this will be this end here. The handrails are a bit cruddy. You can see that they're broken here, but this is all easily fixed. And also, this is I'll do this one as the restoration project first, because these models, not only do I really like them, I have one of these in Leary Lackawanna, but I want to do this one up, and I wanted the handrails are the wrong color. They're black. I know they're not exactly right and they're different than their prototype, but I don't care. But I will try and I think that this walkway here should also be the same red as the car body, as the locomotive body. Again, the horn is missing here, but there's plenty of opportunity here to make this into quite a nice model, and So let's get it on the test track and see if this works. Now when I rate these out of 10 for a second-hand buy, I don't mean 10 like 10 is perfect. I guess 10 would be like a brand new model out of the box. Not 10s. I wouldn't compare like a 1980s Bachmann that was 10 in its world, in its rating, to say the latest Kato or, you know, high-end model like, you know, Rapido. So let's put this one this way, see anything happens. Well, we have, oh, nice one. It seems to be quite agreeable. Nope, stopped. That's just dirty wheels. That's a bit noisy, but I tell you, that's not bad at all. Just a basic service to get this going. I told you, I like these AHM Mehano models. Yeah, it's a stalling on dead pots, the points and stuff because of that. No, and there's also great potential in these AHM models to remote them and so on. No, I'm very confident I'll get this one up and running quite well, and I'll repair it. And I say on a rating, 5 out of 10. It probably would have scored more because the handrails are broken, but 5 out of 10. Yeah, I think that'd be fair on that one. This Bachmann 1980s toy train, really. The Bachmanns are hit or miss. Their pancake motors can be good or bad, and often if the pancake motors are really bad, I will turn this into a dummy engine or use the chassis in some way. Nothing ever goes to waste. Some great pictures of, I love these accessories. DeWitt Clinton electric train HO, Beeline die-cast trucks, cranes and diggers, metal alloy vehicles, very nice too. There's an oil, HO and N scale oil storage tank with blinking light on top. I guess, I don't know if there was an HO and an N scale version, or if this could be used for both. If it was used for N scale, then the staircase would be problematic in real life, I'd imagine. There's a farm here, an American style farm. That's a nice model. I've seen that one, and you can actually do a lot to customize that. This Gandhi dancer here, this is a kind of a funny thing. I've seen them used as a kind of, they're great at train shows to get people watching the layouts and remembering them. This is actually a kind of a recruiting tool for getting young people into the hobby, because they're fascinated when they see the two workmen pumping the rail car while it's moving along the track. They actually have motion, and it's a silly model, and I believe they've actually re-released this as a new version. But it's one of those things when you're a kid, when you go to your first model train show, that you remember for the rest of your life. I can always remember going to a show in Dublin, a model train show in Dublin, when I was about 7 or 8, and there were the street lights on the layout. The buildings had street lights, and that left a huge impression on me. And something like this, I could see kids at you know, many exhibitions in both sides of the Atlantic see this or see something similar to it. And it's a great recruitment tool, because they'll always remember they've seen that on a layout, and it kind of brings the hobby into their consciousness. And I think I have this bridge somewhere in my old spares box. H&N blinking bridge. I don't have the blinking part, but it's a very good trestle type bridge. You see, that's the idea of the artwork on these boxes. Bachmann operating accessories, die-cast vehicles and scenic accessories make your days a lot more fun. Isn't that beautiful? You see, this was as much as a recruiting tool for the hobby as it was for Bachmann advertising their products. On the side we have the Brill trolley. I have that. This gigantic DD40X 16-wheel diesel. I've seen this thing. It's colossal, and it actually goes around 18-inch curves. I have this American 440 tender. Imported parts labeled to show country of origin, printed in Hong Kong. Bachmann electric trains. This is not the right box. Flat car with logs, NLN, Louisville and Nashville. So the box is wrong, but the styrofoam packaging is right. lighted. I love that. Like lighted. Like that's a big deal. Well, it would have been, you know, when I was a little kid, it would have been a big selling point. Let's see if we can get this out. Look at the model. Already I can see it's broken at the bottom there. So it's not the right box. Yeah, you can see this is very common on these Bachmann. At the same time, you said this, whatever plastic they use, this is very common. It's an easy enough thing to fix. You can put a piece of plastic in there, shape it and repaint it, and so on. I do quite now. Do you see? Let's see how different the tops are. Yeah, look, they're quite different. The fan arrangement on the roof. They both have boilers, it looks like, at the back. So these are passenger units, either F7. They call them F7s or F9s, but they're really probably FP7s or F9s, FP9s. This one has the two horns on the roof, great, and an interesting fan. Let's have a look, compare it to a respectable model of a real prototype. Hold on. Okay, here, this is an Atlas, I think, FP7. So it's a passenger version of the F7 unit. I'll put that next to it. So it's longer. It's longer. You see that? It's longer. So you can actually make a better return around sideways. Huh? It's longer. And I think this is a winterization hatch here. I'm not sure, but the fan arrangement on top, they all see the FP7, sorry, is longer, or FP9. I'm not sure what that is. It's an Atlas model, I think. Yeah, Atlas Austria. It's not the Japanese built Atlases. It's one of the Austrian ones. So I think this might be an FP7. I don't know. Again, I'm not a train spotter. I'm not really much of an expertise in terms of like what the real names for things are, and you probably noticed that watching my videos so far. But if you can give me correct identification of these models, it'd be great in the comments. Even, you know, what these fans mean. I'm pretty sure this is a boiler for supplying heating to the passenger cars, but we'll find out. This is another. It's not really a proper war bonnet scheme because it misses that yellow stripe, and this one doesn't even have, well, it did have it at one time. I can see it just under there. So somebody was painting this and it got a bit strange. I don't know, but this one is missing the yellow band at the top, and there's always a lot, from reading American press, there was always a lot of controversy about the windows never being correctly right, and I'm sure that's true. People say there was never a proper F unit until the Stuart units, F3 units came out back in the 90s. But anyway, so let's get this guy on the track and see how he runs. So the wonders of buying models on eBay is every day is a school day. It's really, really strange the sound it's making. And the wheels are probably filthy. So we'll have a look at that in a later video. So we'll put that one down to being a 2 out of 10. An important factor in this whole experiment of buying these second-hand models is to take it as a bit of fun. If you're starting out in the hobby and you have no experience of repairing models, you have no experience of customizing, upgrading, how to repair them, how to fix the motors, even clean them, I would shy away from this. I would wait till you're further down the road in the hobby, in your hobby skills, before you do what I've done here, because some people will be watching this going, well, you know, well, first of all, I didn't pay much for this, okay? And some people will say things like, well, you got ripped off here. One of the locomotives probably doesn't have a motor, and the other two didn't run at all, did run poorly, and the other one barely ran. But to me, this is fun, because this will provide me with days of pleasure rebuilding, maybe even repainting, and getting them going. And that's why it's good for someone like us, someone who's taken this hobby and been in a long time. Now, for a newcomer, buy a good quality, brand new operating loco, because there will be nothing that would put you off the hobby more than thinking, oh, I can buy these 4 locos for the cheap on eBay, and you know, the price of this, the price that I paid for these would be about the same as the top end box cars, not even the top end, like now medium range box cars that you would buy brand new. But I start off with a brand new loco that you know works, has the guarantee, the warranty out of the box, and then begin with that. Then when you're down the road a bit further, do what I do. Start buying quote unquote junk off the eBay or at fairs or in car boot sales and bring them back to life. So I hope you enjoy this video, and any more comments on this? I actually quite enjoyed myself making this video, and I need people to identify this model, the prototype of this here, and so I can know what it is. And thanks again for visiting. That's the New Jersey Coast Guard scheme. This is the one I'm going to work on first. So thanks again for visiting Arcadia Junction Model Railways, and I'll see you soon. And please, if you like this, give it a like. And if you want to subscribe, I would be really grateful, because I think there'll be a lot of videos coming onto this channel you'll find useful and hopefully enjoyable. So, AHM Yugoslavian 1970s RS3 model. You will rise again. You will have restored glory. Take care all. Bye bye.